So just the two of us tonight, eh?
Yeah, might be. Hey, what's that with Trickster? Why he has an ATC badge now?
I have no idea, but he was controlling before.
No, I just wondering in what kind of butt he was crawling now for that to have the right to sit in a room where he don't get bothered because he is in the past. I bothered him a lot when he is sitting for hours alone in the general purpose rooms.
User joined your channel.
Hey, Trickster.
Hey, not much people on. So, have you guys started yet?
No, just about to.
What is wrong with my internet connection?
Hi. Does this thing have AC? Thank you. It feels much better in here.
Alright, well, seeing that this looks like it might just be us, I guess we'll get ready to go.
Yep. Don't forget, don't taxi too fast and brake too hard. You
This
will
thing
bounce
has
on
brakes?
Yeah, very good ones.
Ah, just loving the creaks and the rattles.
And don't spool up 100% with parking brakes. You will bounce.
Trickster, are you joining us, or are you going to watch the stream?
I'm spawning in, but is there a stream going on?
Yep, I threw one up.
I'll do both of it.
Nice.
I mean, I would love to see what you're saying.
Oh well, we'll let you spawn in, Trickster, and then we'll go off to head off.
Oh, I spawned on the other side of the runway.
There's
Sarah.
one.
Sorry, she just suddenly went, "There's one!" I'm assuming she just
User
saw
joined your channel.
saw Tricks this morning.
Yeah.
Ah, Mike, for Mike, welcome.
Yeah, I'm a major jet lag from Europe, so I'm actually up. So I decided to join you, but for a heck of it, since I don't have Steam, I'll be DAF winging parallel.
No worries at all. In the cub, I've also got to throw up a live stream as well.
Nice. Just so I put in the right flight plan. We're starting November Zulu Mike Oscar, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Thanks.
I was gonna say, yeah, we've only got this week and next week in the Australia and sorry, in the Australia and the New Zealand tour, and then that's it. We've done north to south.
Small tiny question, what time of the day you guys are in? I will adjust it.
Zulu -9.
Zulu
I'm
plus
in the
2.
ground for you guys, right?
Oh, just the actuals. Yeah, server time is Zulu -9.
Or local, if possible?
Good question.
You have a daytime, obviously, right? So it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice. You're up there.
It'd probably be about what would it be?
Oh,
Be about it'd be about just after lunchtime. So probably around about 2 p.m. 1400. Well, I might, as I said, these cubs are nice and slow, so I'm going to get off to a lazy start. So you're following along in DAFSIM, are you, Mike?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, I do have to say, now that you're back, and I know you're slightly jet lagged, but thank you very much for those that light add-on of yours. It's incredible, especially in Steam Edition.
Oh, great. I appreciate you like it. Yeah. Not everybody will, because you have to look for it, but in real life, you look for it a lot harder. So it's somewhere in between. Yeah, I enjoy it too.
Oh, I was on a different screen and I switched to my flight team and you guys already taken off.
Just enjoying the beauty of the old stick and rudder flying.
Nova, are you flying the A2A, Piper?
That is correct.
It's cold in here.
Oh, Heidi's telling me off. It's too cold. Oh,
Yeah. She asked me
Thank you.
where the heater switch. So I closed the window. And she said, thanks.
Plane, 10 o'clock.
I like how she even looks in the direction that the traffic is.
Yes?
Nice. Nice touch.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I went with your advice, Casey. I went with fun Heidi.
Yeah, it's better because with the other ones, I mean, you can put her on silence, but that's boring. But when you put her on nervous or whatever, and you do just a quick drop down, she screams.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's
Then she
better
put
than
her
a roller
hands
coaster.
on the brackets on the front.
Apparently that's better than a roller coaster.
There's one, 11 o'clock.
That was great, she said.
Aircraft, 3 o'clock.
I love that feeling.
I'm still getting the feel of the Cub. It's just, really good though.
There's physics in FSX.
Oh yeah.
What I did in the cab, I actually speed up the aileron function. I found it far too slow and reduced the dihedral behavior, which means because she seemed to force you to actually push ailerons in the turn. In real cab, you only do it in the very beginning of the turn, and then coordinating, she was slowly pulling. So that's tiny adjustments. I don't tell anybody that I adjust anything after A2A, but I did do this, otherwise she flies a tree.
Aircraft, 3 o'clock.
It's a giant RC plane, that's all it is.
Well, you know, it's it was fascinating actually reading the manual that comes with it, and it's very interesting. They make a point of saying that's why, you know, remote control aircraft are so often modelled off the Cub, because it's just such a elegant, simple design that just works.
Except many RC guys don't realize it has to be coordinated in the controls, otherwise she, adverse yaw and all kinds of things like that. So it is not really extremely easy to fly, unless somebody mixes the rudder with ailerons, then it's a different story.
Mm.
For me, you guys are flying through the hill right now.
Trixie, you're just going to have to invest in Orbix's South Island.
Or maybe just use the free mesh.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I think Orbix, New Zealand is one of the best work. Anything this and then maybe the NorCal maybe it can be competitive, maybe even a touch better in the sense of it's later. But I really enjoy New Zealand. It's really great.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I did this tour, because I wanted to experience like what it was like. Because I was impressed with Australia, so I thought, well, New Zealand's going to be pretty good as well. And I'm so glad I did the tour just for that, and that's why it's all been relatively low and slow aircraft. It's just been absolutely mesmerising, and the way they've captured the mountains running down the spine of it is just incredible.
Yeah, the Australia is early project, so you can tell how over the years they change the technique and increase the
Aircraft,
quality.
9 o'clock.
Because New Zealand is step higher. Although I really enjoy Australia as well, it's great. You can just tell that there is early work, and then the detail is different, and texture is different, but both of them. And on top of it, Australia is a major bargain right now. I mean, you can get, I think, the whole continent for like $24, which is like, come on, I'll give it to you.
Oh yeah, like one of the best value, that's for sure.
It's a good beginning, but once you buy it, it's over. You're gonna spend the rest of your money on the rest of the Orbix, because once you see the difference, forget about it. That's what happened to me, man. I said, oh, dude, I can fly in a demo of Pacific Northwest with CAP for a long time, and that's all I need. The rest, I'll just fly normal. But that was it. I loaded the demo in, and I said, what? That's not the same sim. It's a different sim. Okay. No more
I'm sold.
for me. Seems like we're following that riverbed, right?
Yes, we've got the river off to our left, and then we're going to join up with the State Highway 94 and follow that through to our first stop.
Now, what sort of speeds you guys have? Full throttle full or slightly throttle back?
I'm running at about 95%.
So on the RPMs, you have it just below the red line, or 2200, or
22 to 23.
Good. I believe CAP actually with flooring it, if you feel like its engine is healthy doing that. Just on the run down, if when you're diving, you don't want to have it pretty over RPMing over that red line. Otherwise,
I could get
just
used to
healthy
this.
just to floor it if you feel like.
There's one, 10 o'clock.
On a Duff Wings, you can actually fly your player flight, but you can have your AIs at the same time, which is kind of cool.
I feel like a celebrity in our own private plane.
Yeah. I'm glad I picked the fun Heidi. Yeah, nice. This is the only aircraft that has the passenger on board from A to A, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
From any aircraft, yeah.
It's a shame A2A didn't roll that out onto any of their other aircraft.
Well, there is an explanation because there was discussion on the forums, and they say A2A, the CAP is extremely simple, extremely low impact. It has only 4 instruments, which means you know what it translates to. It's extremely friendly. So they had plenty of overhead for that Heidi, which is very high. They say if they would have put it in a Cessna, this would become a major hawk. So they decided completely at this time to not do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's one, 3 o'clock.
The argument can be made, you know, lots of people have major machines and maybe they want to have 20 frames, but they want to have a live person. Maybe this also has to do with, you know, amount of work involved or something like this, you know, then charging $50 for something that takes them tons more, maybe. But yeah, I hear your pain. Really. Now that you know Heidi, now you want all kinds of people hanging out with you.
Well, yeah, it actually explains a little bit more now with things like, for example, I remember when Flight first came out, people were saying, "Oh, there's no passengers, there's no interactivity or anything," and it's like, well, hang on a minute, like FSX doesn't have that either, but of course it came out not long behind A2A's Cub coming out, so I can sort of say, okay,
Hey,
which
11
actually
o'clock.
had the live passenger feel to it.
Yeah, I think the fact that FSX has this sim connecting, which allows for seems like for the developers for unlimited expansion, it is a strong argument for that sim. You know, it is just not this closed thing that only Xpen can control. Anybody can build anything for it. Yeah, it costs money, but there's plenty of us who can drop that cash, you know, because we love it.
And it really becomes that whole passion as well, and having the people that are willing to put the time, effort into creating things like this really helps that drive that passion for everybody else.
Yeah, size of the community, and you know, you can direct any way you want. I mean, there are dudes who fly the monster tubes, nothing but, and you can customize your sim beautifully for that, and you know, don't bother with anything
Plane.
else. And you can be a GA flyer all you want, and you can customize it to that. I like that. It's you know, but it then brings all together in a multiplayer environment like Watson or something. So it is very powerful, I think. And the weather is untouchable. Boy, look at on the left down the river as we're leaving it. This valley looks gorgeous.
And I just love, the fact with that and the clouds sort of just interspacing themselves with the hills as well is just amazing. And just seeing that valley off into the distance, yeah.
Yeah, on the left side, I have the river now leaving. I'm right now leaving the river. River is going to the left. So I'm looking down this very shallow riverbed. It looks really believable, and the mountains in the distance with the clouds hugging the tops of the mountains. I mean, it's really cool.
There's one. 10 o'clock. There's one. 10 o'clock. There's one. 10 o'clock.
So we're gonna put it down for a moment at number 031, right?
Yes. I think it's 31, I think. Standby. Let me just consult my flight plan.
You can open, if you load it in, just open your map, Shift 5, and it will show you the flight very nicely. It's like a GPS.
Yeah. We got 31s right on our route. We might stop down there.
Do we land there?
Yeah, why not? I didn't even realize. As I said, for some reason those all those little things don't show up on my plan G, so it's fortuitous that it coincided with the flight plan. So why not?
Yeah, we'll
Plane,
run your
3 o'clock.
database in your plan G, because you probably didn't do it after you installed it.
There's one. 1
It
o'clock.
will add all of these, but maybe not. Maybe they didn't. No, it should be, because if it's in your database here, it will become a database in your plan G.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've rerun the database in Plan G multiple times, like to search the database, including pointing to all the add-on files.
What Zoom you have?
Yeah,
Um,
there is a you can also activate the small fields. There is also something called small fields or something. You need
Yeah.
to probably
Hmm.
Activate the small field and maybe adjust the zooming. I'm running on Zoom 11 and I still see them, but you have to adjust the zoom. There's somewhere a editor in the Zoom. It's on map, I guess. There you can tell that you can see the little ones on a higher zoom.
Okay.
Whatever. So when you maybe zoom on 11 or 12, you should see that airport. If not, then you have to adjust it in the settings there.
Yeah, I need to overhaul my Plan G, and so I'm a couple of versions behind.
So we're following this highway right now.
Yep, so this is State Highway 94.
I
I'm gonna
love
follow
that
this down.
feeling.
You notice J3 as the real one will behave just like a real one. You can let the controls off if you trimmed, and all you do is just touch the rudder when you want to turn and adjust the throttle for climb and descent, and you can just walk it without even touching the controls. Pity you can't lean and she will turn as the real one will. You should lean and she will turn, which is kind of the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I don't think FSX quite can handle the weight shifting.
Just wait, sub developer will. You know, it could be connected to track IR, because you know it does know when you're leaning to the side of the aircraft. So maybe somehow like that would be kind of cool.
That could be cool. A new use for track IR. Lean into your turns, just like in a motorbike.
Yes, sir. Got the traffic cruising down the highway on the proper side of the road, which is awesome.
Yes, that's that's one of the things that impressed me about Orbix, is that the traffic actually drives on the correct side of the road when you're in different parts of the world.
Yes and no. As I was always impressed with this, unfortunately Vector sucks beyond. They actually put most of the single roads by making them one-way traffic, which is idiotic. I think it has to do with they want you to buy the regions, and so they had to differentiate in some way Vector from regions,
From the individual region.
It just sucks. So, you know, I'm mad about it, because I have ultimate terrain for US and Europe, but you can run these parallel for it to be, you know, in US and Europe the ultimate terrain, and the rest of the world Vector. You have to choose either or, but it does suck from this angle. And I am just a little bit faster than the traffic down there. I have this mod installed which slows down my traffic worldwide from 100 kilometers an hour to 70, which is a little more kind of like...
Yeah, I was going to say a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, a little bit. Freeway might be a little slow, but I still think that it's a little better, especially for these roads, you know. When they're cruising at 70, it looks a lot better. And Nova, have you visited New Zealand?
Yes, I've had a few trips to the South Island, one to the north, and 3 trips to the South Island. I went to the Wanaka Air Show many years ago. Absolutely loved it.
Nice.
I was fortunate enough to be able to have a trip in the restored Catalina that operates from the lake there.
Wow. That's
Oh
out of
yeah,
control.
that was incredible.
That's trip of a lifetime, man.
Absolutely.
Like we're gonna be following the road and the riverbed again.
Yeah, we'll rejoin the another river.
Woohoo!
Oh, Heidi can be quite loud when she's excited, can't she?
Yeah.
I know it's a silly thing, but just in case you wanna be naughty, disable her for a moment, and then with your truck IR, look back beyond that wall, and she'll be there, but you'll be surprised what position she's taking.
I might do that when I'm not live streaming.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right, okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah, everybody, when they discover, it's like, what is that? What happened there? The A2A creates their people because it has to be animation. The person has to be hidden somewhere, so that's the trick. Like A2A Cessna, has 4 people, and they're all actually parked in the fuselage back there when you're not having them as a representative. Just gonna need.
Just sort of tucked away, folded up.
Yeah, they folded up, yeah, but Heidi decided not to be folded. She decided to. She has another side to her. Let me put it this way.
Yes, so for those following along at home, yeah, we won't be previewing that in this live stream. You'll have to get your A2A Cup to find that particular Easter egg out.
Sorry for that. I took it in the wrong direction.
I just remember that in the A2A Cherokee you can put 4 passengers in, two girls and 2 guys. They don't talk, but you can see them still when you're running from the outside view.
Yeah, outside view only, but not inside the cockpit. You're right. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Love the shadows of the hatches. So natural, so well. So it looks so good. I don't need E3D for awesome shadows here.
Plane, 3 o'clock.
In fact, in my DX10, I have the shadows of the objects, but they not really needed. I switched off. The best is to find those small fields. I love it about Orbix. I mean, you have to really look to find them sometimes.
I know. I'm sort of just thinking, okay, we're closing in on 31, and it's like, now where is it?
I know. I mean, I do refer to the map because you do have to at least have a reference. How far is it from the road? How far is it from the river? Otherwise, you will not be able to find it. This is the time when I really miss a good VFR chart. I can't find anything. I do have a friend down there. I'm hogging him. Dude, find me a used charts and send it to me because I want VFR charts from New Zealand.
Hey, Josh is there. Josh. Chief Josh.
Oh, Chief Josh is mate. He just
Yeah, he joined.
excellent.
Just have an oven on top of me.
A cute little small town, and the field is right here by the road. I finally see it. You guys landed already?
No, just coming up to it, I think. I'm just checking my map out.
Timing is excellent. If I can help, look for this. There is a hangar on the field and a few cars and things. So look for the hangar. You see the little town. Look on the right side of the town. There is an intersection and a road coming from the left, and it's right there on the V of it. The field is there. I'm flying right now. I don't think there is a SOC down there. I might need to do a drift test for it to come in. Yeah, no SOC down there.
This is one of the things I love about the Orbix and also like the OzX stuff is actually doing that VFR flying and actually having the challenge of trying to find these little strips.
Tons of it. It's almost unlimited. Yeah, the OzX stuff in Australia and Pacific Northwest, and obviously the whole New Zealand. There's so many of those trips. I mean, unlimited. So yeah, you can fly forever a small aircraft. Getting drifted a little bit like the runway would be the opposite that we were. Actually, the runway that we were coming in directly in from this town side. I'm gonna try that runway.
Here we are, coming up to the town. Let's see if we can see it.
Look for the hangar, and yeah, like I mentioned, it's on the intersection in a V of those two roads. One that you were following, one coming across. On the base for that, so let's see what runway it's gonna be. This is the east runway. Don't forget your carb heat requires to be switched on a minute before you actually need it because it's very slow. It uses the exhaust. 1800 is the cutoff and it's modeled.
Plane, 3 o'clock.
And a little bit of a push from the right side on the east runway.
There's one, 3 o'clock.
I think I see it now.
Yeah, I'm on the ground already. So let's say you are actually squawking to me on the Unicam, and I'm telling you, if you're interested, it is 63 at about 6 knots. So there is a right push on this east runway. East would be the one coming from town, or directly landing from the intersection.
happened?
I'm directly over the strip right now.
Yeah, I just landed crosswise the strip. Very nice.
Plane, 11 o'clock.
Some wind generators there on the hill on the right side, on the east side. The whole ridge is full of propellers.
I hope you have a day job. You are not a good pilot.
I just got berated because I had a rather rough landing.
Right.
Alrighty, okay. Well, okay, now that I'm assuming hopefully I've fixed any damage I had to my landing gear, let's taxi on and let's head onwards.
Oh, you don't need to fix that. You're running on the tundras. She can jump like a gumball.
That's very true. Alright, let's head onwards.
So you know, they are on a shift 7, you have a condition of the aircraft. If you like goof around or do some issues, or you, for example, you know, nose over and you break the propeller, which actually will break, you have to overhaul that thing.
Well, so far I'm still in excellent condition, apparently.
Yeah, if you treat it well, it would be like this for many, many hours. But you know, you just do one goofy thing, and all of a sudden she starts sputtering, and in the multiplayer people will actually see a puff of smoke coming out of your plane now and then, which is kind of cool, and then they will tell you, hey dude, your plane is messed up. Next landing you go and overhaul and you're better on.
Nice. And you're right, I do love how, you know, if you just set her right and you trim her out, she just purrs like a kitten and she just goes.
Yes sir, just walk that rudder, that's all you need. Shall we continue
guys
down the
doing
river,
there?
right? Go ahead.
No, we've just taken off again, so we're continuing on our merry way.
So we're cruising down the river and the road, and it looks like we're gonna be going down that river all the way, right?
Yeah, so we're going to follow the road with the river on our left, and then we'll cross the river by Lumsden, the town of Lumsden, and then continue following the highway off to the left.
Gotcha. Don't forget to push your carb heat on your takeoff before takeoff.
I like. I really love the hand starting of it as well. Like that was something
Yeah.
cool. Like it just you could actually you get this feeling of like I should really step back when I'm swinging this prop. You actually feel like you should be taking that step back. That kind of caught me a bit by surprise when I sort of like I
Yeah.
did it and I was like I actually felt myself move back from my mouse. I'm like, hang on a minute, this is just a simulation. What am I doing?
Don't want to burst your discovery area, but try what your float will let you do. I'm not going to tell you what, but there is some cool features on the float version as well, in a similar fashion.
I think I know what they are. Yeah, I was reading through the manual, but I won't reveal them because that may be
There's
coming
one.
up in a future
11
video.
o'clock.
All right.
Since when are you using the Piper Cup Nova?
Only the last couple of days.
Oh, so you just got it?
Yeah, it's all new to me.
Oh, gotcha.
So now I finally understand why why you were always talking about Heidi, Casey. Now I fully understand it.
I mean, I'm one of the biggest fan of A2A. I own all aircraft from them, and I love always their performance and the gimmicks they put into the airplanes or whatever.
Yeah, ditto, definitely. They're absolutely untouchable. There's nothing like A2A.
Well, the only A2A I had prior to this was the 172, and I learnt very quickly that you have to. There's a reason why you do the walk around. It actually knows that you've done the walk around.
Yeah, exactly. I love that too. Yeah, I neglect it once or twice. Oh, I gotta go
Aircraft, 9
find this,
o'clock.
and boom, one aileron goes off. Or I actually died because one of my flaps connections broke, and as when I deployed, the aircraft just rolled and killed me. So it was quite hard. Hard lesson. I love it when you go to the obscure place and refuel, and then you actually will find water in a bottle, and if you don't clean it, she will sputter like crazy.
Flight engineer was yesterday doing a monster flight with the Stratocruiser, 5,000, around 5,300, 400 miles, 20 hours or 23 hours, and he landed with just 4 pounds of fuel.
Now that's some possibly good or possibly not so good engine management.
Oh yeah, the
Plane, 11
Stratocruiser, I
o'clock.
tell you what, you are busy. The whole flight, whatever you're flying, you're always busy. Because normally the range is not that standard range. 5,000 is way too much. But if you can maintenance that thing very good, then you can make it over 5,000 miles.
I'm looking at the GPS map fake thing. I see what you mean. We're gonna cross the river now and leave it to the right and continue down the highway.
Plane, 11 o'clock.
My descent at 3,000. I'm encountering some 3/4 headwind. I think I'm gonna go down a little lower.
Yeah, I think I almost took over the tops of a couple of cars before, so I decided to go up a bit higher. But now I'm thinking I should go back down and weave between the trees.
Copy. So you guys are going quite low. Got you.
I will be now.
Yeah, lots of land out here and lots of fields, so it's quite safe to stay relatively low with the cab. I'm just crossing the river right now in a small town, and I'm gonna hook up on the road. So where you guys are, right about, or still quite a distance off?
We're probably, I think, what is it, about 1.5 mile from that turn point.
Got you. So you have this small town on the other side of the river inside, right?
Yeah, yep.
Something.
Beautiful. So we are sitting in about the same spot. Sounds good.
Now, is there a bridge there?
Copy. There is a bridge, but I don't think you can go under it. It's quite long. Yeah, I was encountering quite a turbulent air all the way to 2000, but now it's smoothed out.
Yeah, I found I loved how also the Cub just really played got played by the air coming off the ridge line of a little ways back when I was sort of close to the road, and it was great actually feeling the Cub vibrate like that, and combination of A2A and active sky, I think that was, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Sometimes it fights itself, but most of the time it is quite good. If it's strong enough with active sky, if it's strong enough wind on the ridge, you can reach
one,
this
12 o'clock.
Cab, switching off the engine and just fly the glider. I've done it quite a few times. It's really quite cool.
Yeah, a little low even for me.
Oh yeah.
Thought about it.
Better than a roller coaster.
But with the tundras, you can surf on the water. You have just to keep an eye on your speed, that you don't slow too much down. But you can surf with her.
Oh, I'll have to take it off the Gold Coast one day.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the MS flights times. We did a couple of stupid things with these Piper Cups.
just a couple? I think we did a lot more than a couple of stupid things in Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
Plane, 12 o'clock.
But there's an intersection splitting. Shall we take the right side? I think we're taking the right side, right, of the road, the right road.
We sort of we actually take the left one.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, a lot less wind here on the lower levels, and they stay quite low.
There's one. 9 o'clock.
It's just now I have this thing. I think I can definitely see myself taking this cub on all sorts of tours around areas that I know Ausex have done a lot of work with in Australia now, particularly around my home area. Because they did I know they've done a couple of disused airports on the islands just offshore from where I live. So I'm looking forward to taking this cub out to those.
It's superb, and basically all the tiny fields don't really take any other aircraft but this, or a stall, but basically it's all for J3. The Pacer does well in those small fields as well. I really quite enjoy the Pacer for this.
Well, the Piper Pacer was a sort of derivative of a cub, really, wasn't it?
It is same construction, dramatically a crazy different engine. It's it's also side by side. So it is a cloth-covered aircraft. It's super light comparing to same types with this engine. It has like 180, but it weighs half of the aircraft with the same. So it has dramatic behaviors. You can really fly it in extreme conditions. Also super wide but narrow wing, which means it has a very decent characteristics for stall and things like that. It's very, very flexible, and especially, I mean, it is not very well modeled. I had to rebuild it dramatically. When it comes out of the payware, it's beautiful model. It's absolutely superb, but it's quite bad with physics. It was a lot of work, but I put in, and if anybody interested, I can, whoever is interested, I actually add the floating of the tundra, so you can actually do the water landings and things like that, because I love the plane, so I did some adjustments to it.
I feel like a celebrity in our own private plane.
I was jealous of the ability to push and lift up the tail with the A2A cab, so it's almost, I mean, I added also that feature as in real life you would. The short field takeoff is you push full power, you lift up the tail with brakes on, and then you let it go. That's how you do a short field takeoff on the
Yep.
short crab, so it was needed. You can also turn this cab beautifully on the ground if you push about half power and push on your elevator and one brake only, and she will just swing on that one wheel very nicely. You can turn her right around like in real life.
Yeah, she has differential brakes.
Yeah, no need for parking brakes, but at least she's got the differentials.
Looking at the map, I'm almost a beam of November 073.
Yeah, our next stop will be an actual strip. We're going to be landing at November Zulu Victor Lima.
Didn't look up. one of the major features of the regions of orbix is non-repetitivity, meaning there is no checkpointing, which is a huge difference. Down the low, where we're flying, it is not really a problem, but when you climb to a 1500 or 2000, and in the distance you would have seen probably checkerboarding in this valley, but not in the region. So it's a nice detail. And interestingly enough, the new LCs, I've been testing the one Canada, Alaska, and in Canada no more checkerboarding, which is for me worth $20 or whatever it was.
So I was gonna ask how that went with the checkerboarding, because I know like even the regions, even like Australia especially, can still suffer from checkerboarding, but that's gone with the new open LCs.
Yeah, you see, this is where you're hitting the old orbix and new orbix. There were a lot of discussion about, well, Australia, come on, it's a region. Why do I see checkerboarding? And if you really look, you could see some repetitivity, but no more checkerboarding. What they did is, I think they did some equations. So if there is the same land class type, in a big area, automatically they did, or maybe by hand, they just mix it up. They turn it around in such a way. If you really look, you will see repetitivity, meaning that same feature can repeat. Eventually, you will start recognizing them. But real checkerboarding doesn't really exist, which is a huge feature. And you're right, Australia has some of it still in the mid-country. If you look for it, you will find it there, and that's why probably it's $24.
Well, yeah, it's like at the moment, my Australia tour is just going through Western Australia, and I didn't really notice the checkerboarding much on the east coast, but I've really noticed it once we crossed into South Australia, into Western Australia. You really really see the checkerboarding starting to take place.
Yeah, lots of discussion about it on the forums. People were not really complaining, but noticing it relative to new orbix products. But LC is also doing it. All my tests that I've done in Canada, which is very large area, and I did venture into some really goofy far north, open huge tundras where there's nothing there, and completely same type of areas, and it's in a completely obscure place. Boom, you can tell that it's high-end stuff, because not checkerboarding, and also features change, not boringly the same thing all over. There are some little spots of this, little spot of that. It is a major improvement, and price is right. So I'm really stoked for US. I think it's going to be nice, another step up from FS Genesis, which is already a very good product, but it has checkerboarding.
And that's fully compatible with P3D as well, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, these guys are, triple installers, because they know that there's a very nice market in this area as well. So yeah, boom, triple installer, no problem.
Yeah, because I finally got my P3D back up and running again, and took it up for a spin the other day with the Milviz Phantom, and yeah, it's nice having P3D back again. I don't get me wrong, I love F16, but I really like my P3D as well.
Looks like we are midnight in real life, right? In this area here.
Yes.
This way the air should be quite smooth and smoothing out nicely from here. Although it's always windy here, I think.
Yeah, because of just the nature of the terrain of the island. It always generates some interesting wind, and that's why the cloud formations are always fascinating. And one of the things one of my slight complaints with Active Sky is the fact that it does weather in the US and Europe really, really well. But outside of that, it leaves quite a bit to be desired. But New Zealand, it seems to get reasonably right. Like it's always got that sort of thin and permanent cloud layer with it.
Yeah, I know they're working on very much local areas. They do. I know that the equation understands the coast because it definitely creates the coastline marine layer. I believe there was again discussion about it. The limited number of reporting stations is where they do a gas in between. And I think New Zealand is actually one of the trouble spots because it doesn't really produce that many stations, but sufficient. And when you go to goofy places, it will be also
Aircraft,
less and
3
less.
o'clock.
I've flown quite a bit in Europe, in England and in Poland, which is my places that I'm familiar with, and the depiction is quite good.
Yeah, it leaves surprisingly, I was quite disappointed with how it does the weather in Australia, especially like near me, like the terminal area around my local international airport. Yeah, no problem, but go outside of that terminal area, and and I know it's got the reporting stations. It just doesn't seem to do a very good job. Like there was a cyclone, just on the edge of the terminal area last year, and it didn't even register that there was a cyclone there.
That is not good because it does model the hurricane, so it should show it quite well. And that's really disappointing because I know they actually pride themselves of actually following the hurricanes and cyclones. So that's weird. You should have posted it, dude. What's going on? Where's my cyclone? I want that because they really respond to it. They're very proud of what they do. So they really respond to people. I've done many discussions and comments, and I always get response in a way that you would expect.
Yeah, as I said, it was slightly, it was a bit disappointing, and I didn't take to the forums at the time, but yeah, I'll be watching the next this cyclone season. You can rest assured.
I do have a small advice. I found that true accuracy only in active sky is reached when you actually put in the flight plan and have that ticked in the settings, because otherwise there could be problems because there are stations that are overlapping or close by, and then decision
Plane, 9
by
o'clock.
the program is made to prioritize something that is not right. So flight plan, loading in flight plan is really crucial. At least putting in active sky
There's one,
departure
3
and
o'clock.
the destination crucial to truly have that on the way. But we have as good as it gets because we have the flight plan loaded. It will actually prioritize that route, and I found major differences sometimes in that. I fly in a very busy information areas like SoCal. There's tons of stations. If you don't do it, you will all of a sudden, it reports fog and whatever, and all of a sudden it's not there. But if you put in a flight plan, 100%.
I pretty much always fly with some form of flight plan, and I always have that box checked for my active sky to feed off it. So yeah, no, it works out for me quite well.
There's one, 3 o'clock.
Just turn south. Actually right. So it's towards south. River on the left.
Aircraft,
and
3
road,
o'clock.
Also, is that where you guys more or less are? Like turning.
Yep, we're probably a little bit behind you now. It's about 4 or 5 miles behind.
Yeah, I'm actually floored. I'm gonna ease off to 22. Is it staying low, or what sort of altitude?
Still low. Let me have a look.
700.
Yeah, 700 feet.
Gotcha. December.
There's one, 3 o'clock. Plane, 3 o'clock.
Tough wings flawless. but no traffic because nobody is on it right now. We got like 2 people in the whole thing. But it works fine. I mean, I don't have any problems. Seems to be it will jitter my plane once in a while. I don't think it's. I think it's the system. It's actually completely benign, but there is a tiny little jitter now and then. You're gonna get the plane gets shaken touch, and I know it's not any of my systems. I think it has to do with that, but I can live with that. Bridging the distance.
Plane, 3 o'clock.
Since you don't have a ball in J3, your coordination is keeping your compass level when you're turning. I installed one of the. I normally don't go after the other repaints, but this time I did because somebody actually did a beat up version. It's really excellent. One of the cute things on the left side here, it's there is an arrow to the position where you are. It says pilot, and then there is an arrow forward that to the front seat. It says normal person. It's really quite cute.
Plane, 9 o'clock.
I don't know. I must admit, I always am intrigued by looking at repaints as a repainter myself. I always enjoy looking at other people's work and experiencing all the effort I know goes into it.
Yeah, the ones I'm hunting is the beat up or used, well-made cockpits. Yeah, I have a Cessna, very nice for A2A. I have this one. I'm still looking for a Cherokee. And a small comment, gentlemen, don't miss the... Oh, we're landing November Zulu Victor Lima, right?
That is correct.
Got you, I'm overhead. I'm gonna turn back and look for the sock. I don't think there's a sock there. But let's have a look. Very nice field, actually, quite busy. Lots of stuff going on here.
Hey, I wish Razor would be here and show us how to fly that thing upside down. No way.
Aircraft,
Yep.
9
Doesn't
o'clock.
hold.
Did try
No.
to do that,
No way.
but
You have to fake it,
You
you have to
keep,
add
like-
power to it, yeah.
Or you have to climb at 10,000 feet and go in
Plane, 11
Dive.
oh
o'clock.
my god, no.
and then maybe you can make it for a couple of seconds, but
Before the engine conks out.
Okay, the sock is claiming, so again the east runway would be the one to land on. 3/4 push from the left.
Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, you know what? There is actually upwind short runway. I'm gonna take it, which would be let's see. I'm going northeast, which is west. Well, hold on. I'm always having trouble figuring out. But there is a small short runway which is directly upwind.
Oh, we'll take that one then, because it's not like we need a lot of runway space.
oh no.
Yeah, you can live with it. Hold on, that will be west. I'm going west. So east, northeast runway would be the one that would be straight upwind.
Thank you, sir.
So as you guys coming in, there is a one runway directed with you, but then there is one going from right to left, and you want to take that.
With around 40, 45 knots of wind on the nose, you can stay in the air and hoover down. That's what we did when we landed on the observatory on Mount
Aircraft,
what's
3
the name
o'clock.
of the observatory on Hawaii?
Oh yes, 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 yes. I think we've all landed on a variety of buildings and that.
Yeah.
Was it Casey? Was it you and the German group who landed on
Yes.
the VOR?
No, VOR. No, we landed with 5 Piper Cups on the biggest of the observatory.
Mm. No, there was
Plant
there,
there.
oh, it was old Coot and an F-100 and a few other guys. They all landed on the first day the Alaska's release. They all got the Cub and landed on a
Yeah.
VOR.
If you land on that north runway, you will experience slight push from the right.
Aircraft, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we're about 3 miles out.
I'm next to one of the hangars. This guy has a full workshop in here, so if you guys have any problems, I think you can knock on this guy's door.
User in your channel timed out.
With kind of the tools and everything, he's hanging there, waiting for trouble.
Well, as long as he's got spare props in case I nose over with the Tundra tires. Because I know not to brake very hard with the Tundras on.
And just work your elevator. It does respond very well, as it really will. So once you touch down and well below, you can start pulling nicely and hold that tail down.
So the shorter strip is directly into the wind?
It is with a slight push from the right. I think if you take it's not strong wind, so if you do a nice coordination, you can do drop the wing and use the main runway, expecting a left push.
I'll come in with the main with the left push.
Another small comment that I have about A2A Cup. I've flown in real life. It is a little too stable if it comes to ground loop. It should ground loop easier. I can't even force it to ground loop, so it is a bit of a slight disappointment. believe it or not, the default actually is more in this area natural than than the A2A. The default is quite nasty on the ground, and it should be. Oh, that's funny. I actually feel so much that I'm flying with you guys. I'm looking all the time left when you're gonna come in. Oh, that's so silly.
Plane, 3 o'clock.
Well, I didn't get a complaint about the landing, so I must have done something better this time.
Yeah, sure, judge you. Women, you know, judgmental.
Oh yes. Sorry to all the female viewers out there.
I think they like it. I think it's a compliment. I know something about it. I'm judgmental too, so you know, you gotta get live with it. Otherwise, you always be pissed. So whenever you guys actually take off, you can give me a shout.
Otherwise, we're going to take probably about we'll probably take about a 10-minute break here, so we'll take off at the bottom of the hour.
So switch that baby off, because I'm gonna be hand cranking that thing for sure.
Indeed.
Plane, 1 o'clock.
Now don't use the fuel cutoff. Use the
Magnetos at the top.
magnetos. Yeah. I think fuel cutoff is. It takes a while, and then takes a while to pump it back in. So I usually just do that. Be back in time.
Plane, 11 o'clock. Plane, 11 o'clock. Aircraft, 3 o'clock.
See you soon.
Plane, 3 o'clock. Plane, 2 o'clock. Plane, 1 o'clock. There's one, 2 o'clock. Aircraft, 3 o'clock. Plane, 1 o'clock. Plane, 3 o'clock.
Welcome back.
And we're back.
Copy that. I'm back as well.
Alright, let's get ready to hand start this baby.
Plane, 12 o'clock.
Alright, now let's see if I remember. Fuel on, throttle cracked. Get the primer a bit.
Actually, you don't have this such a short period. You don't really need to. You might actually flood it if you crank it. I mean, if you pump it.
Helps if one puts the magnetos back to on, doesn't it?
It's a small detail, but you know, yeah, a little. Like we say in RC world, to have a chuckle, sort it out in there. Looking here ahead and turn out actually the DAFs and map is actually quite good to do VFR. It looks like we'll be continuing 94 and then switch to Highway 1.
Yep, that's the plan.
And that one will take us all the way to Eva Gill or something like this, right?
Yep, so we'll have a brief stop at November Zulu Golf Charlie.
Golf Charlie, got you. Oh yeah, I got it, okay.
I'm just consulting my flight plan here. And then, yeah, we got our final stop at Invercargill, which is essentially, yeah, just taking Highway 1 the rest of the way down.
Sounds good. Yeah, I can use this for VFR quite well, actually, that Google map that DAFSIMS is using. That's actually usable. Whenever you guys take off, Tom.
I'm just taxiing down past this, the mechanic and his hangars.
Check out his equipment there. He's
No,
really
look
well
to your
equipped.
left.
Sorry, go ahead.
I see Casey was getting some running repairs done in there.
There's one, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, just a quick overview.
I think the old boy might be drinking something other than engine oil.
I love the fans around that airport. Is so realistic.
Alrighty, well, I think Casey's already airborne, so...
No.
Oh no, there you are behind me. There you are. Alright, well, I'm going to get airborne and head on down and keep heading on down the road.
Copy, rolling.
There's one, 3 o'clock.
Well, for those who are eager, there is a bridge. I know some of you are very skilled. I think it's doable, but you know,
I got
somebody's
it.
gonna try it. I think you guys gonna try it. I have a feeling somebody's gonna try that bridge.
Oh, of course. I'd be remiss if I did not.
It looks like one side is higher there. Maybe, yeah. It's gonna be really tricky.
Aircraft, 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah, it's kind of angling, and on the right side, maybe the last span. Maybe you should sneak it in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I think the Tundra tyres might be scraping the water, but we'll do that.
Watch out, there is a step in the water also in this area, so happened.
Easy, piece of cake.
Nice. Since there was a push from the left, I'm gonna actually fly that ridge and help myself by, you know, flying along that ridge, which will help you because it will lift you up a little bit, and it will you can then ease up the power attachment. There's only 4 knots of it, and it is coming nicely 90 degrees to that ridge. I can feel a little, but not much. If that was 15, you would have throttled back and just ridged it without power. That's really quite cool. So check this out. I flew to visit my.
It must be great to be
I
a
call it
pilot.
a yearly pilgrimage to my homeland to hang out with my mama. And I did a major computer cleaning before, you know, because the environment here is very dusty, so I have to do it. So, okay, good thing. So I completely, you know, open it and blow everything out, clean it really nicely. I was really stoked. It's gonna be working like crazy because the CPU cooling was a little messed up there. And so I come back home, and first thing I get is my bike gets stolen. So I'm already, you know,
Oh no.
There's
you know,
one, 9
I know,
o'clock.
because I rely on it. I go every day on my bike ride, you know, and it was a beat up, especially for that. So nobody steals it. Well, they still stolen it. So I'm already kind of nasty. But okay, I need to get myself ready for Carl's Watson flight. Oh, it's gonna be great. Let's just hook up. Let's just fire up this bad boy. And so I switch it on. It works okay for a little while, and then I leave it, come back, and the computer is switched off. So what the, without losing up sanity. And you know, okay, so I start it up again, and after about an hour, it shuts down by itself, completely without, you know, screen or whatever, just shuts down. I can hear the you know, the computer just clicks off and it just completely goes off. So I look there and I go power off and on, and the lights on the motherboard don't go on, but if I left it for a while, it went back on. So I'm thinking,
Plane, 9 o'clock.
it is a power supply, probably. It was only a year old. But it took me about 2 hours to eliminate it by, switching off everything and switching things on and whatever. It was a major mess. But I sort of pointed out to the power supply, hoping, crossing the fingers, bought a new one. In the store, I've been to a regular store. That's the first time in a long time. You know what I mean, right?
Oh yeah.
'Cause everything else is like you look at it and then order it online. But
Yep.
I went to the store and brought it in, and thankfully it actually was a power supply, so it actually worked. So, but it was quite stressful.
Well, at least your rig's up and running now. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think I actually upgraded. Believe it or not, it might be just placebo, but my previous power supply it's called a bronze type, and this one is a gold type, which is supposed to have a little smoother voltage, and probably it's a placebo, but I'm for some stupid reason experiencing slightly smoother behavior, which is I think just
well,
placebo.
I was gonna say I will back the gold rating. When I had the Cooler Master power supplies and their gold series, I did notice that it was significantly cleaner voltage coming through.
Oh, good news. Okay, yeah, I sort of suspected it. When I spoke to a guy, I didn't really research the power supply that well. I've heard that they can be better and worse. It's not the same thing. But I kind of ignore it a little bit. But then the guy tells me, well, it's gold sticker. It's better for efficiency. I'm thinking, well, efficiency, I don't care. I don't pay for electricity here. I don't care. I want my power, whatever, 1,200 amps or watts or whatever you call it. But then he finally spilled out what he means by smoother voltage. I said, well, that I will go for. So that's, I think it was a good choice with this gold thing. I'm just making a right turn, and I see some railroad tracks splitting here between the river and the road. I'm going to continue down towards the south.
You should see the airport not far from there.
Oh yeah, we're looking for next airport. Yeah, there's quite a bit of town here going on. Oh, racetrack as well.
Yeah, the airfield should just be on the edge of town.
Copy. I'm a little bit away from it, but it's really busy area here. Beautiful scenery, just gorgeous. I got diffusers set. It's quite a bit of bus town.
Bridge, 2 of them. Don't mind me. Alright, under the first, over the second. Show off, Casey.
Plane, 3 o'clock.
Oh, I forgot to switch off my battery, my radio, and so it ran out of battery. I'm gonna check the CTAF, which is on this airport, 19.1, but my battery's dead. Can't change it in the air. You have to land and recharge your batteries for the portable radio. No worries. It's actually north wind. I'm gonna take the north runway. Alpha 04 is left downwind for the north runway, being the airport, Dafson. So carb heat goes on basically on a downwind because you need a minute for it to warm up.
Yeah.
First base final. North runway, full stop.
Novawing24 is on the downwind. Steam.
Copy, looking for traffic. Fruitlessly.
Fruitlessly looking for traffic.
Yeah, I want it. Wow, this looks unbelievable. Those little bushes here on making a final, you're gonna love it. It's really, really excellent. Those kind of slightly, it's like a, you know, cow feet. Oh, there's actually some equipment here on the final here. Some dudes are working on with wood here on the side on the final. Standard approach speed for cab is 55.
Knots or miles?
Yeah, miles per hour. Yeah,
Hmm.
55. Whatever is on your dial here, 55. Slight push from the right.
Plane, 9 o'clock.
It actually, I think if you read the manual, it advises on a very short final to push that carb heat so you don't forget, just in case of go around. Okay, 404 is clear. Dobson.
And 2-4 clear steam ignition.
Plane, 3 o'clock.
Alright, we'll do a midfield takeoff for this one because we won't lead a lot of runway.
Copy departing, and I'm gonna fly left downwind departure here from here, because we're going the other way.
There's one. 3 o'clock.
It's like as I hear Heidi in my aircraft finish saying that, I hear it coming over your system, Casey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard it. I was wondering what it is. I thought it was a troll hanging out, but
It's like, oh no, it's just the back end of Heidi's comment.
it's just Heidi. All right. 404 is on the left downwind departure.
24 is loading
There's
up.
one. 2 o'clock.
And there is our high window.
There's
Yeah.
one. 12 o'clock.
Oh, watch out for potholes.
Yeah, there's a few potholes kicking around this airport, and I need to have a word with maintenance.
Another racetrack here on the south side, and small town. Looks good. Looks really good.
All right.
Plane. 3
that's it.
o'clock.
We'll make this a quick stop, and flight lead is rolling. I'll turn left to get back onto course.
There's one. 10 o'clock.
Looks like really flat land ahead of us.
Yeah, we're heading, we're leaving a lot of the mountains behind, and we're heading down to the flattened out part of the island towards the southern tip of it. And in fact, Invercargill is right near the southern tip of the main island itself before we'll actually be going down to the most southern reaches of New Zealand on our final trip next week.
All right.
And that's one of the reasons why we'll be flying Cubs again next week, because where we'll be landing to finish our journey does not have runways.
Ooh.
The mystery thickens.
Mm.
I'm going to be using that DAF sim map for VFR flying other than US, because it's actually quite well, it has what I need, is rivers and roads and towns quite well depicted, so it's going to be probably a good alternative.
So is it
User
a
left your
direct
channel.
import from Google Maps?
It is, yes, but what's good about it is completely full screen. I can have it, there is almost, I can have it completely filling up my screen on my second computer, which I really like that. And it follows me, if I need to, but I can actually use it even if I'm going to be flying, in other circumstances, other multiplayer.
Yeah, actually, Mike, going back to a topic of conversation some weeks back when we were trialing that VATSIM, I've yet to get it to work on a second computer. I have tried every guide, and I consider myself reasonably switched on when it comes to such things. And I've used every guide and every trick out there, and I, for the life of me, cannot get it to run on a second computer.
That's disappointing. I was just going to think about it. I was just going to hook up. I have a Mac as a second computer, but I do have a laptop as well. And I was
Oops.
going to hook up the laptop to do the Active Sky and vPilot. But when you're telling me it's a difficulty, I find it so light on my system. I practically I have no difference. So I might just not bother.
Yeah, for me, VATSIM, the vPilot program does weird things to my control setups for FSX, so that's why I wanted to get it onto a second computer, but I just cannot get it to run on a second computer. I've previously run Active Sky on a second computer, no problem at all, and it's run beautifully. But yeah, for the life of me, I cannot get vPilot to run on a second computer, and apparently I'm not alone. The forums are full of people who have issues trying to run it, and because it doesn't, there's no option for it to use FSU IPC and wide FS. It has to use SimConnect, and it just does not want to play.
That shocks me, because the comments were always that it's designed to be run on a second computer. That's why you cannot run when you're full screen. You cannot run the pages which you need theoretically for the texting and stuff. And then the comment is, well, it is really not designed for one computer. It is designed for multiple computers. So what your comments now really, kind of conflict with that statement. That is kind of disappointing, because otherwise the vPilot, I find it superbly light, superbly easy to operate, and somewhat reasonable if it comes to model matching. So it is a very interesting and disappointing statements you're giving me here.
Yeah, and like you, I mean, for me it was primarily the model matching, and just again with all the concurrency experiments that we're all doing at the moment, I did like how reactive it was, and I was looking forward to using it. But it just physically does horrible things to my setup when it's on the same computer, and for the life of me, I cannot get it to run now.
What does it do? Can you give me a few examples? What does it do to you?
It locks out my second throttle control, because I'm running a split throttle. It also it's the only time under Windows 10 that I've ever had loss of flight controls.
Copy. And obviously you have tried it after you already upgraded to 10, so you don't know if it's 7 will not be the same.
Yeah, I don't know if it would have the same issue with 7. I don't know, but it definitely does that under 10 and under 8.
A small question: are you running your controls being controlled by FSU IPC exclusively, or they are parallel with the FSX itself on the controls, or only FSX?
Parallel. So I use
Switch them off. Switch them off on the. Make sure that when you're controlling something in FSU IPC, make sure that axis is switched off in your main maybe that will do some help for you.
Correct.
Yeah, so that involves forcing it to FSU IPC to handle all the access calibrations and all the access controls, yes?
Exactly, yeah, and it gives you quite a bit of more power anyway. It gives you a lot more controllability, and it is a bit of a commitment. It's a bit of work at first, but I highly recommend it. And then you can, you can save it nicely using your INI, making sure that you save your INI from FSU IPC, which will keep all those settings.
Okay, I might, I'll poke around with that and see if that gives me any joy.
Yeah, just go to your regular controls and one by one go to your controllers and make sure to all the access are just simply not active there, just delete them from there. But before that, you can do the FSU APC after that, it doesn't matter. It will run parallel, but it's clean when you clean it, and maybe that's the conflict you are experiencing.
Possibly. But it's definitely worth
Another
exploring.
extract. Yeah, it's got to be something like that. And did you already forum it on Watson? There's a good forum there on for vPilot or somewhere else on Afson. Did you already forum the issue?
I read through about a dozen posts where people were describing the same kind of connection issues and all the workarounds that have been, and all the step-by-step. There's 2 really good step-by-step guides on sort of how to get it working, and it's about a 60-40. 60% of people had success with it and 40% don't, and I seem to fall into the 40% category that don't.
Oh man, that sucks. Sorry, man. But keep at it.
But the flip side of it also may be is that, as you sort of pointed out, it may also be something to do with Windows 10. That's entirely possible as well.
Just a question over, did you still running the upgraded Windows 10 version, or did you do it clean install with Windows 10?
Upgraded. Well, one's a clean install, one's an upgrade.
Is it true you get a free car when you land at the larger airports?
And how do you did the clean install?
When it gave me the option of, do you want to do a complete new install? I go, yes. So it wiped everything out and did that.
That's not the clean install. The clean install is you upgraded to Windows 7 or Windows 8, whatever you had before. Then you use the tool from Windows, and then you make yourself a stick or a DVD, and then you wipe the complete system out again, and then boot just from that stick or DVD, and then you have a clean Windows 10 install.
Okay, well, I've done one computer with that then, because I've got one computer with the disk, a USB stick.
Yeah.
Might try running it off vPilot off that computer then, see if that helps.
So first you upgrade it, and then you go back to that tool, and when you go to the option to create a DVD or a stick, then it gives you a couple of options where it asks you what version you want to install, and then you have a couple of N versions or non-N versions. But it's just stupid stuff about the Windows Media Player stuff, and I guess the N version don't install the Windows Media Player crap, and the without N they install it. So you have a couple of options there then, and that you select before you create your stick or your DVD. And
yeah, that was.
And when you install it then from your stick and DVD, don't worry about the questions about the key code. Just wipe it over. Don't put a code in. Nothing. When the install is ready, it will activate itself automatically without putting a key in, because the key is already then on your stick.
It's built into the stick, yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I did with one of my computers, because I did the upgrade and then put it onto the stick and then redid it. So I do know that's one of my computers did that. I needed to make sure that all the data on it was gone.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, yesterday another Watson test was run. I was part of it. It was five or six people on, and sort of that's why I didn't really follow that and create in a group flights. It is very cumbersome for our type of flying. People who do lots of installing and stuff. It's not that tragic, but there is a few steps, and so I don't think we're going to really follow up on that Watson version because of its relative complexity, and doesn't really fit the model of easygoing. These guys want to be serious, but a bunch of other guys don't want to be serious. On Watson, you kind of have to be serious, and so it's very limited usage. There's maybe me and three other guys that are interested in that kind of stuff. The rest of the guys, half of them just want to fly straight in and don't worry about, oh God, we are in a control space or something. So it might just be limited usage of it. Very good results with V-plane, in my opinion. There's some rubber banding on turns, but otherwise the aircraft moves smoothly, super light on the network because uses like 100 times less than multiplayer. Good light communication. You can run your AIs with it, and obviously never problems with ghosting and stuff like this. So it's good, but it's too complicated for our usage.
I think the one that's had the most popularity so far, I think it was the DAF Sim one, and that's the one they're looking at, seeing if we can get a US based server for it.
Yeah, I'm flying it right now, and I think that's the way for us to go. And it's like a poor man's Watson in sense of the way it's organized. Again, it's a little bit cumbersome to put together and run, and also the adjustments are so complex and difficult, even though they're not really user friendly. But for what we need, I think it's going to be good. The way I understand, he gives those servers to people. Okay, you run the server, but it's programmed to actually become a giant session. So all the servers are connected together, like Watson has like 8 different servers. So you can actually see other groups flying in the same system, which is kind of neat, I think. So I think it's a good future, good movement, lot more information transmitted over the model matching. I started studying it. I was hoping that more flexibility in it. It's a little bit cumbersome as well, but we can figure it out. I think it might be, because I would love for us all to fly together. I mean, really, this is really my dream, to finally stop this nonsense of separating the multiplayer.
And have that, and as you said, and allow people to enjoy their preferred simulator of choice, no matter what that may be.
Exactly. I mean, listen, Davson, we're talking FS9, X-plane, all the FSX is awesome.
Well, I must admit, I was actually quite surprised, because, I mean, I don't know if you know, but I do the weekly sort of simulation, sort of news summary kind of video. And I was surprised that in the last sort of like 2 months, there's been quite a number of releases for FS9. And it was actually a bit surprising to me to know that people are still actively developing payware for FS9.
It is very popular, and there is a whole area, probably as big as X-plane, maybe bigger, because of its amazing smoothness. Especially tube guys, they don't really care about a bunch of trees down there. And there are some really excellent features for FS9, and FS9 runs millions frames in complete smoothness always. So, some guys choose to stay with it. It's simple, it works fine, it's very light, never out of memory because it uses so much less. And some guys just don't want to tickle with it. I switched very late to FSX. I ran it forever, as long as I could push it for this stuff. But once I saw Orbix, I think Orbix just started showing the Aura Aussie X, and I said, "What? These guys actually play this kind of visuals?"
Yeah.
I had to move.
For me, it was a bit of an opposite thing. Like my actual flight simulator thing was for me was FS. I think it was FS 98, and so a long time ago. And then I sort of really FS 98, and then 2000, and then I left FS alone for quite a while for personal reasons, and then I came back with Microsoft Flight and absolutely loved it. Could have, I thought, okay, well, it's a great beginning. There's a lot of potential here, and then, that died, and then it was like, okay, what now? And P3D was sort of just sort of a glimmer of somebody's idea at the time, and it really was FSX. So it was more like I was more sort of like pushed into FSX just because of the scenario. I looked at X-Plane, but it was just like, something just didn't gel right with me with X-Plane. As I said, P3D wasn't really, it was sort of still a twinkle in somebody's eye really then. And then I went, okay, I'll give FSX a shot, and I gave it a shot, and it was like, and coming from Flight's visuals to default FSX, that was hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that was just really rough, and it was like, I don't know if I like this. And then it's like, okay, and then like you, I got the Orbix demo of Tasmania and was like, okay, I'm sold. This is this is what it can do, and it was that demonstration of, okay, yes, I can get what I've been experiencing in Flight. Yes, I'm going to have to fork out a stupidly large amount of money to get there, but you know what? I can do it, and I've got a software that can run it.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it was I stopped drinking in bars, and I would drop easily 50 to 80 bucks every night. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna start buying shit, and I'm probably still saving money because I also stopped smoking. So, dude, I said, it's not really big money relative to that. So, yeah, but I hear you. That's definitely there. That's exactly what's going on.
I got so distracted by the scenery. I was just enjoying the scenery and the conversation. I was like, oh, no, I'm going way off course here. Don't mind me.
There is a sharp turn there, and I'm just crossing over the split of 98 and 1, and I'm taking the left
Lane,
side. So
9
that's
o'clock.
where I am right now, on that intersection.
I was just enjoying the conversation and the scenery so much. I kind of forgot the turn. Fortunately, fortunately Heidi doesn't know. There's no GPS that Heidi can see, so it's all good. She'll never know.
This is why the DAF experience, for that matter, VATSIM, it also embraces all the sins, and it does it very well. DAFSIM probably even more, because there is some hoops and hollows you have to do for the X-Plane for VATSIM, and it's, I think, just the same thing for DAFSIM. Is quite although I've noticed there is also some extra things you have to do for X-Plane, but still, all of them together, I mean, imagine in a few years we add to it the train simulator, and the world is our oyster.
Oh, speaking of train simulator, that's interesting. I've given it a go for the first time, and it's one of those things where it seems like it's going to be really easy. Like, I've just got to go from point A to point B. I don't have to turn anything. It just goes. But you know what? Yeah, it's easy to do. It's really hard to master.
Yeah, it is fascinating how people actually, I mean, farm simulator, you would think, what? But guys get completely hooked on it. I mean, completely hooked on it, So
I was almost one of those guys. I've got FS Farming Simulator 2013, and I almost became one of those guys who was super hooked on it.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and the quality is awesome, and that's what I'm seeing in the future. I don't know how realistic that really is, because it would be very, difficult to, but I think maybe in our lifetime, maybe sooner than we think, there will be a just giant simulator that brings all these activities together, and you can actually, here we are flying J3s, but some dudes are actually farming down there, and you could see them down there. Would that be out of control?
Oh, as you said, sort of just that the idea of having like a DAF sim, that sim kind of thing, which brings together not only the flight simulators but also your farming, your train, like that would just be incredible. Like, it's just the mind boggles with that idea. and that is just really fascinating to me. That, as you said, and I'm sure it's not that far away.
Yeah, not that far away. I tell you what I saw that really, really freaked me out. If you go local, I don't know how many places Google did that, but I know they did it in my town, in San Diego. Part of San Diego is, instead of just 2D, it is not a bunch of buildings put on by hand. They have a new technology that actually makes a picture from 3 different or 4 different angles and brings everything to 3D. That includes trees and then puts textures on them all around what they really are. And I know it's an automation, which means they don't need a guy to do it by hand. They can create a whole world using that technology. 3D, meaning trees are actually brought up to where trees are, and precise, each tree is there. Each house is there with its own proper textures, and it's not done by hand. So, and it's already out there. If you want to check it, Google Earth. A few years, I think they're going to bring it into the whole world. Now, if then they sell this as a product, you know, a worldwide scenery, and just load in our stuff into it, we're ready to go.
Yeah, it gives a whole new idea to. Wasn't there a program a few years ago that
User joined your
actually
channel.
would do that? Would live load Google Map textures into
That's
your
what's
flight
gonna
simulator?
be. It's already there. It's already
Yeah.
there. It's running right now. I forgot the name of it, but you can run it right now. And I think this is how it's going to be. We will not be downloading giant billion gigs or whatever. As you're flying, that shit will be loading live on the internet. Listen, with 100 gigs a second, or or megs, or whatever they have, the Google speed, if it's now here, that means it will be worldwide in 2 years or 3 years. So, you know, what's not a problem? 100 gigs a second, megs a second, you'll be loading it live.
Yeah, maybe add another 10 years for Australia to get it, but you know.
No, I see what you mean. You know what? The only thing I'm worried about, they're starting to put in different places actual caps on the internet, which kind of freaks me out. We still have unlimited here, you know, very widely, but I know Europe starting putting some caps on the.
Oh,
on the internet.
Australia's had
Which
caps
would
on
be
it.
shitty.
Yeah, Australia's had caps on it for like since the beginning.
There you go. So
yeah.
that will kill you off, because, you know, imagine, I mean, 10 gigs or whatever you have is not going to take you very far.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's only two or three minor players, and only one of the major players that offer unlimited plans. But even those unlimited plans, you got to read the fine print, because they're usually broken down into on and off peak and stuff like that, and it's just, yeah, it gets really sort of like, yeah, no, it's not good.
Yeah, it's nasty. Yeah, I'm really hoping that you know, world will start following the US standard, which is basically unlimited, unless it's cell phone connection, which is limited. It was goofy because in the beginning, you know, US started that whole thing of net, and so that infrastructure stayed for a while, and then all of a sudden, when Europe hooked it up 10 years later, now they are a lot faster because they had a newer fiber. Now US is replacing the whole thing, and now US is starting to have, you know, the leading stuff. I mean, Google makes town by town, including they're going to move into San Diego with 100 megs a second standard, or 150 a second, which is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, the thing that really frustrates me about like, for example, my internet connection, and like, I'm quite fortunate where I'm in a hybrid zone, so we use a combination of a hybrid of fiber and coaxial cable. So I get 100 down, but I'm capped at only 1.2 up.
How interesting! What a dramatic difference.
Yeah, and for most web browsing and, you know, gaming, it's fine, but, you know, doing what I do and being on YouTube a lot, trying to upload my videos to YouTube, that takes a lot of pre-planning.
Yeah, that will fill you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will fill you up for sure. Well, imagine that. I'm actually running a long-distance Wi-Fi since I'm on the boat. That's the only internet that I have, because it's you know, comes with the marina, and I'm like 3 up, 3 down, and 1.2 down up, and I'm good. I'm actually working worldwide, sending my work back and forth, and it works for me. It's kind of funny.
I think
My
you guys are
files are
done
not
flying.
monsters.
Hey,
No,
cop out, welcome.
Hello.
And you know what? You've timed yourself perfectly for
For what?
coming into our last stop.
Yeah, okay. Figures. I got a late call and I had a red report 'cause it's my Friday and
Well, we know the streets are safe, so that is all good.
yeah.
There's one. 9 o'clock.
Hey,
When you
Cop.
get to town, look for
Hello.
that airport directly on the other side.
By the way, Nova, I'm just waiting for my setup to fiber optic. They are just setting our building up here now. They're putting all the cables in, and when they are ready, I will get my new connection here. Maybe hopefully before Christmas that they are ready with
Nice.
that. And I will get 200 up and 200 down for €36 a month,
Unlimited?
unlimited.
Wow.
Oh.
That is future. That is future today. Oh wow. That's
Including
amazing.
120 minutes of national calls, gratis to mobile, and 200 minutes calling mobile to mobile, and 1.5 gig for navigation for mobile phones, all in one contract.
That's
All right,
good.
I think I might
There's
need to
one,
move
9
to
o'clock.
Let's
I might need to
move.
move to
We
Spain.
got-
Yep,
We have to move.
that's it. I'm moving.
Let's move.
Alrighty, we've got our final airport of Invercargill in sight. So we'll do what should we do? Do a left downwind and then turn into final.
Look at the mega store here. The pink one. Oh, the
Yeah, and
orange one.
it kind of sticks out for everybody, doesn't it?
It is, yeah. I love this. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's beautiful scenery. That town looks excellent here. Oh, that's interesting. I think I have somebody in a session here.
Plane. 10 o'clock.
Oh yeah, actually. Oh no, I know what it is. I have my AIs active. That's why.
Well, so you do have somebody in your session,
I got
technically.
excited. Yeah, I got all excited. Said, dude, but I'm looking at the map of that, and it's just nothing here. And why do I see an aircraft attacks? And that's my AIs. Okay, look, good choice. The SOC is streaming for the opposite runway, so I'm gonna playing left button. And what's the number there? Runway 4, full stop landing.
The 08.
What'd you
Plane.
say?
11 o'clock.
Um, Oh 07. Oh 1
I got
2.
There's
runway
one.
4,
2
actually.
o'clock.
Yeah, oh runway 4.
Very nice airport.
And we'll taxi in front of those hangars, I think, to round out the flight for tonight.
Okay, we were right there. Physical forward flight, short approach, runway 4, full stop landing.
Nova, you are going for the main one, right?
A-firm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is quite a few grass runways here, I just noticed.
Yeah, there's I think there's 3 grass runways as well as the main concrete runway.
Oh cool, I'm gonna land on the grass, the 4 right on the grass, that looks really promising.
Slowly turning final for 4 right on the grass.
Alpha 04 is placed on final, runway 4 right. Grass runway. Duffs in bunch of sheep on final approach.
It wouldn't be New Zealand without the sheep.
Roger. 04 good defense.
And 2-4 clear of 4 right.
A cute little feature when you look at your fuel indicator, the float, it actually kind of floats around. So when you're making maneuvers or turn or whatever, you will go bob up and down.
Ah, cool, Nova.
Why, thank you, sir.
Nice differential turns.
I'm slowly getting the hang of this baby. You know, one of the things I think I love about this aircraft is the fact that I don't have to click all these things to shut it down. It's, nope,
Yeah.
click the magnetos off, and that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Well, thank you, Heidi. I hope Heidi enjoyed her flight with me today.
As long as she smiles, she is happy.
I'm gonna invite Jastel to move to SoCal. I want them.
Yeah,
But you know what?
that
I don't have a bad deal here either. They starting to really be competitive here, and I get unlimited talk and small internet for $20, which is for here a really good deal. And that includes international calls worldwide. Some of them for free, some of them 2 cents a minute, which is basically for free. So I enjoy that since I do quite a bit of international calls. So there are some deals to be had here.
yeah. So you see on that offer, I have all landline calls inside Spain. I have free. Wherever I call, are free. 120 minutes from my landline to a mobile, free. And then the mobile 200 minutes a month free, mobile to mobile, and 1.1 gig for the navigation.
I will
All free.
eat through those 200 minutes. Like I usually use, well over 3,000 because I talk on the phone. I'm worse than a girl, I tell you.
Well, I want to say thank you very much for joining me on this penultimate flight through New Zealand, and thank you for everybody who's been watching the live stream as well. It's always a lot of fun, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully see you all next week as well.
Oh, I can't promise, but I think yes.
Same here, but I really, really enjoyed it, Nova. It was a great flight. Even though I wasn't there, but I was sort of there.